Hello, today is Thursday, July 10th, so I was roaming around on the internet the other day and I saw a picture of a bunch of German people, and underneath it had the hashtag Gruppenselfie. And I was like, what? There's an actual German term for group selfie? Like, why is there not an English word for that? Like, why is there not a single word English equivalent for group selfie? And that word amused me so much that I put together a list of 10 foreign terms that don't have an English equivalent, and that's the topic of today's video, so let's get started. As a quick side note, I only speak English and French, so my pronunciations of these words will more than likely be very, very wrong. We start off with the Spanish friend zone, te quiero, which is sort of like an in-between between I like you and I love you. The Huffington Post summed it up nicely as saying, I really care about you, but I don't quite love you. And we move on to the Japanese tsundoku, which is buying a book and then not reading it, and usually just compiling it with a bunch of other books that you've bought and not read. Okay, fine, I'm guilty, okay? But I'll get to them eventually. I wanted to buy them. Next up, we have the Indonesian word jayus, which is a joke so badly told or so unfunny that when it's told, you can't help but laugh at it. So yeah, that's basically like my life summed up right there. Moving on to the Greek word Historias Mercedes, which directly translates to stories with bears, and its meaning is a story with events so wild and crazy that you can't help but think that it's not true. Then we move on to the Georgian word Shimomajamo, which translates to I accidentally ate the whole thing. Pretty much what this is when you still have some food left and you're full, but the food's really, really good, so you just eat it anyway, and after you sort of regret eating it all because then you're like super full, but it was still really worth it because the food was really good. In Newfoundland, we have a single word for that, hurtin'. So let's jump back to Spanish for a second and go to pena ajena, which is feeling embarrassed for someone even if they don't feel embarrassed. Such as, oh my god, Dad, you don't need to proclaim so loudly in the middle of the mall that you just had a good bowel movement. So we're going to get a little bit technical for a second and go to the Czech word prozvonit, which is someone that calls you but then only lets it ring once and then hangs up, so then you have to call them back, so then they don't have to use their minutes to talk to you. Yeah, the Czechs actually have a word for that? Next up is the German word Backpfeifengesicht, and I really like the poetic way that this term is described. Its definition is a face that cries out for a fist in it. Next we're going to go to the Chalupa, which I didn't know existed, and go to the term ilunga, which means ready to forgive the first time, tolerate the second time, but never the third time. Whoever these Chalupa people are, they sure know how to get specific. And finally we have the Russian word toska, which requires a definition from Russo-American author Vladimir Nabokov, which means that I need to start reading. Here we go. So toska is described by Vladimir Nabokov as, at its deepest level and most painful, it is a sensation of great spiritual anguish, often without any specific cause. At less morbid levels, it is a dull ache of the soul, a longing with nothing to long for, a sick pining, a vague restlessness, mental throes, yearning. In particular cases, it may be the desire for somebody or something specific, nostalgia, lovesickness. At the lowest level, it grades into ennui, boredom. Wow, things here just got dark really quick. And on that somber note, we're gonna finish up. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel as well, because, why not? And if you have any foreign words that you find amusing, or if you just want to ask us a question about music or really anything in general, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. There's links for that in the description below. And besides that, I'll see you on Sunday.